Hello there. My name is Karen. I am together with my hubby Roger developing our 16 acres of property, and thought we would walk around today because I don't think I've ever really had the chance or the opportunity to kind of coordinate everything from top to bottom out here on the property, to kind of document everything that we've done. There's so much hard work that goes into this. It's a labor of love for sure, but I don't know, I just thought I'd walk around and show you what we're going to try to do and what we've already accomplished and where we started. This driveway is pretty much it's not pretty much, it's a quarter of a mile long. And I figured I'd better talk on the way down than on the way back up, because it's definitely gets my heart moving, gets my heart racing, which is so good. I need to lose about 5 pounds. But anyway, I just wanted to take you guys with me and show you what we're doing. And I think there's so many people that really do love to watch the development of what we're calling our farm, our homestead. It's not a farm yet. It's gonna be. We're gonna have animals and chickens, and we want to have it all, but I know that's very romantic thinking. But we just have been watching so many other homesteaders get started on their property, and we keep wondering, like, what's the intrigue with everybody that starts a YouTube channel, and why do we even like to sit around and watch those that have started a YouTube channel when everybody's just kind of showing their day-to-day life? It's very intriguing if you think about it. You know, we don't have a lot on TV that we all can watch these days, and maybe that's why YouTube has become such a sensation and why so many people really do enjoy it. And well, we just thought, as much as we like to enjoy it, we really think we have a story. You know, it's our own story, but that's okay, because even the people that we know here, our relatives and friends, they're like, wow, that's really going to be cool when you're finished with it. How pretty. Or, you know, you're going to love that so much. You're going to have so much going on up here. And, you know, I have little grand boys that I hope will love, you know, coming out here and hanging out. And, you know, when we finally get our house built up there, you know, we want to be able to have I want a big, huge table in the living room area, dining room area, open space, where that's what we all do. We hang out and we come enjoy the peace and the quiet and the fun of the woods, and the fun of the sunsets, and the fun of the beauty. You know, hopefully we can figure out how to entertain little guys with side-by-sides. I guess that would definitely take care of little people. But I want to have my sisters come out here and just hang out, you know, and the rest of my family that would like to do that and have cookouts and all those things. And, you know, Roger's family loves this stuff, and everybody's always busy, I know, but, you know, anyway, that's kind of what I want to think about. And as I'm just walking today, I only have about an hour before I take off for a Bible study class, but I wanted to get dirty. I wanted to come out here and plant some stuff, but I didn't have a lot of time after work. So I thought what I would do is just kind of explain a few things and kind of go back to the beginning stages of what this little journey has been for us, and just kind of play it out that way. We really started, this driveway has been completely cleaned out from thickness, thicker than that. You can see some of the dead stuff in there now, from where we've already taken down some stuff in there, but it was truly nothing but cedar tree and brambles and seedlings and many little trees, and it was a mess. And so, you know, Roger came out here, and as we would walk and look at where this driveway was going to be, obviously it's all uphill, and the cleared area was already on the top of the hill when we bought it. So he just kind of walked through here a lot for a lot of days and said, I think I've got it, so let's just start. And we did. We literally started with his chainsaw and his weed eater that he put a blade on for me, which I couldn't even pick up. I mean, I'm kind of soft. I got to get my muscles bigger, better. But, you know, within hours, I was slinging that thing all around and figuring it out. And we literally took down an amazing amount of woods by hand. And we did have a tractor to, we have access to a Kubota tractor until we figure out what we want, what we can buy, or what kind we want to buy, because it's a lot of money. So the guy that we bought the property from has been like amazing about just keep the tractor, because I won't need it for a couple of years. They're moving out of state. But we put a lot of hours on it, and you know, that was the stability to actually move and get things hauled around. And then we had a gentleman come out and start with the skid steer and started forming the driveway piece by piece, bit by bit. And you know, it's been an adventure, because we can't finish the driveway at this point after they laid the rock down, because we're gonna have, I don't know, gosh, days of concrete trucks coming up when we get the foundation and start putting piers in for Roger's building, because that's what we're gonna go ahead and build first. We thought we were gonna build the house, but we're gonna build his building because it's a workspace that he needs to have. He needs to grow the workspace he's on. So anyway, when they started and you know, finished with this portion of it, we stopped because the concrete trucks will run it again, of course. But there are a lot of things that had to be taken into consideration here, namely water. You can see where the water has just trashed the little ditch in this swell, and we knew that it would. But you know, it's racing down off the top of this property, and we will eventually put riprap in there, but not until we finished with the concrete trucks. They're going to have to mash it and smush it, and then we'll have to have it regraded again and final rock put on it. But the riprap will go in at that point too. But he had to deal with drainage issues, and so he put this culvert in, which is already starting to wash out. And like I said, we knew all this was going to happen, because you can see where that water's coming down from, and it's just made its own little path. That was a actual path forged by the tractor before we got here, but it's exposed to all kinds of stuff now because we've cleared so much off. This was all through here was just as thick as what I showed you, or earlier. It was nothing, but you couldn't walk through it. Literally couldn't walk through it. So, and then it got into the late fall, and we didn't have a chance to put seed down, grass seed down, except for on this part of the swell. So we've expected all of this runoff. It's not going to be a huge deal, just a bunch of hours and days to go ahead and smooth that back out when we start with the tractor again, just here in the next week or two. And then we can go ahead and start laying seed down. But that was that culvert crosses the driveway here and shoots on out over on this side, because this definitely goes down to the creek. It's actually a dry creek, but it pops out over here. So, and then that runs on down to the creek. So, and that is a dry creek, but it has had water in it since the end of fall. And then this area over here, let me tell you, that driveway looks more steep than what it is when you're driving in it and going out of it. But it's really not too bad, but we had multiple tens of truck loads of shale, obviously, all over here, put down, because there was not a driveway there to the road. The only other access we had was if I can get that on there the right way, through there, running all the way back to that clearing that you see, back in through here. Yeah, that's right. All right, there's the fence. I'm sorry. There's the fence back through there. And then all back that direction is a right-of-way that goes all the way on out that way, turns that way, and goes to the main road. It comes between two houses, and we just didn't like that idea. That's, first of all, it would be a thoroughfare that was maintained by the two owners of the homes that way, and they don't have that as their main driveway, so they didn't want to have to maintain it, and it hasn't been maintained, and it's quite a long ways. So we decided that this actually we had to cut through this woods too, but this to the road made more sense to us. So there was a path somewhat all the way through there from probably 50 years ago, when tractors used to come in. This old road through here was the main road. It's 2-lane. Now it's just the main right-of-way for local access. And then the main road is now 4 lanes, a couple miles on the other side of that. But that's where the tractors would come in and out of here to go to the top of the hill, where they farmed a little bit of it. So anyway, it was quite an ordeal to get that done, as far as, like I said, multiple tens of truckloads of shale and rock, and it's not really finished yet either. Obviously, the whole thing has to be redone. But this was a simple little path. This is probably raised up, I want to say a good 6-8 feet. Actually, if you can see where this culvert is down here, the bottom of that dry creek bed was probably 3 feet below the old pipe culvert that was rotted out and busted up from 50 years. So obviously that culvert then races that water over here to the other side, down here, across the driveway down to here. I can't wait till this is all really clean and pretty. It'll make so much more sense. But so it shoots it on out here and follows it down past the fence and through the field, and goes out to a huge creek, a couple acres across that field. So anyway, that all had to be built up, and we met a guy that's just been amazing. He's really talented, and he's got an excavation business, and so he's done all the skid steering for us. And he introduced us to the guy that he knew that dumps all of his dirt, hauls his dirt for him. So that's who took care of all this. But there's a lot that has to be done, but every day is another day of getting stuff done. So this area kind of, in our minds, is where we're going to eventually want to, Roger had this all built up with dirt here because this will eventually come off of the driveway this way and swing around back through here, so that we can maybe see how it all goes. This is a really cool skinny pasture through here. The only other flat place on the property, actually. But we kind of envision having, well, if you really want to know, it's like envision having a farm market down here. Because I have in this head of mine all kinds of things that we want to do. And we want to make this a life here so that eventually we can be self-sustaining here. And but we have so much to learn. I would love to have a flower farm, you know, and my 2 sisters love that too. I have a niece who's real interested in it. So, you know, we don't know, but the vision is so clear. The vision is just so sustaining in my heart. Roger can't wait to get out here either. We just love being in this situation out here, this nature paradise to us. To some people, they're like, nah, I want the city life. And we're like, nah, not anymore. We've done that, been there, done that, and really don't want to do a whole lot more of it. You know, it's like you pull in the driveway here when it's your own property, and you just go, wow. And Roger was a country kid, and I was a country kid of sorts, and You know, my father had a big garden. My mom, they maintained 4 acres of peach trees. And as a little kid, we sat on the side of the road, and as they've often said, that's how they put us through private school when we were little kids. You know, selling vegetables and peaches. People came from miles around to buy the peaches when we were a little kid. It was pretty cool. I don't have a clue. I'm starting a lot later in life than my dad. My parents did, but who knows? Because I do want apple trees and pear trees, and we have wild plums here. Somebody said you can make leather out of that, like, you know, kids, what's that called? You know, just like fruit leather. But anyway, peaches and apples and pears and blueberries and elderberries and blackberries and raspberries, all the things. Grow all the vegetables we possibly can. I just put some potatoes in at the top of the hill and put some spinach seeds in because I can't stand it by now. I normally have so much stuff under my grow light, but we are living with very gracious in-laws right now because the first person that looked at our house when we were selling it back last year bought it. We consider ourselves so blessed because we looked for this property for about 3 years. We had envisioned in our head what we wanted to do and where we wanted to be, and God had a different plan. And when all of our little plans, that all the places that we looked at, when none of it came through, you know, it like brought tears to us. But one day we just said, you know what? Something's out here. And we used to drive, something's out here that's intended for us. So we used to drive, this road up here is the main road behind me, top of that hill. And it goes way out to Bardstown, Kentucky. And about 2 miles maybe down the road, we would drive out here in this part of the county, but we thought, oh, we can't afford it out here. It's beautiful, we love it. But we would drive it, and one day we just pulled off the side of the road and said, okay, where do we go from here? Because we just don't know. Well, we went home and we just said, forget it. We're just gonna give up for a little bit. We're gonna concentrate on making some money because we needed some more money put together to make something happen. And Roger was looking on Marketplace one day, of all places, and there was a piece of property there, and he said, it's probably more than what we can afford, but I'm going to call the guy. And lo and behold, he knew the guy from high school. Who finds property on Marketplace? Maybe that's a thing, but I didn't know that. So he called him, and we met him out here, and we instantly in our hearts said, this is it. It's raw, it's rough, it's 16 acres of, actually that is what we were dealing with on the other side of the property that I was showing you, that thickness of stuff that we took all down by hand. But anyway, so when we walked around and thought about it, we didn't think for very long. We were like, that's it. It feels amazing. We love that part of Bardstown Road, and especially the fact that this was once the main thoroughfare up there, but now it's just a local access. It's just perfect. Everything's just perfect. And you know that wasn't us. That was God putting us in a situation that he knows is good for us, best for us, better than the other pieces we would have tried to pull off. And all the doors opened one at a time. They just kept on coming, kept on opening. And that's a gun range that one day I'll learn to use a gun. I don't know. I'm about the only one in my family that doesn't shoot guns. I was raised with them, but I have a healthy fear of them, and I don't know, maybe I'll do it for fun, just to learn how to shoot at a target, I guess. But I do plan on clearing all that out and putting all, of course, flowers. I think I see lilies, like just field lilies up there that'll keep growing on their own behind that space. And then, believe it or not, somewhere up in that area, above that tree line, actually beyond the cedars that you see, up there, between that tree area up and through there, I'm pointing the wrong crazy way. Anyway, up in that area, the back of the property is the second set of big trees that you see up there. But there's a big ravine up there, and if we have our way, that will be Roger's Big Lake, because we feel like we can dam that. That's down the road. But you know what? If you don't have dreams, what do you have, right? I mean, what else is there? So it's possible. And if his business continues to flourish, he's so blessed with a gift of metalworking, and He's absolutely, in my opinion, the best car restoration guy around. But, you know, he loves what he does, and he just needs so much more space to do it in. And so hopefully that by the middle of March, we can be excavating the space where we're going to put his building, and then we're going to put that mini apartment in it and move on up here. I can't wait. So anyway, if anybody has any comments about what you all did when you started your first space and how to save money and not spend it, because I'm going to tell you, I could drop thousands of dollars right now thinking about fences and gates and seeds and bulbs and all those things. And those are the itty bitty teeny tiny things. We're talking a tractor and a side-by-side and a lawnmower. And I mean, those are the biggest tools, but it's not overwhelming though, because it's like God put us here. God knows the desires of our hearts. And if we keep on being good stewards to what's here and keep walking in faith, that's how we live our lives anyway, and it sure does work out. But it'll all come together. And you know, like we say, what's the very worst that could happen if it doesn't? We get to live in this bliss. And we get to watch the sun go down. And we got to enjoy each other up here and enjoy our families up here. And one day, very, very soon, this little barren piece of property with all kinds of wildlife. I heard the birds just going to town the other night, one day last week. You can hear the frogs up there again around that little pond. Anyway, it's our little piece of heaven, and I can't wait to just kind of like show you as we go. And we are so open to meeting people of like minds, you know, that do this. I know YouTube brings people together, and we do need to find a little community of people out here that like to do what we like to do, and we can all do it together, because sharing community really seems to be a feeling of security in this crazy world that we're living in. And you know, relationships are critical. So anyway, any thoughts or comments? Or if you're in the Bardstown area and there are gardening groups out there, or Mount Washington too, Bloomfield, Springfield, that you can put comments about that I can connect with, that would be great.